start that thing. Hey, don't forget, what's this? Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Scribbling Merc. Okay, make sure you do that. You can watch these lessons over and over again, right? Do extra practice, because it's what we like to do at Scribble the Ink. And, okay, if you're not here today, buddy, you can go watch that at home. Booyah! I like your hoodie. That's good. Would that fit me? All right, how was everyone's week? Show me out of 10 how your week was at skill. Oh, there's a 10. 10. 1, 6, 5, 2, 7, 8, 0, 2, 7. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Mine was an 11. Why a 1? Oh no, you were sick. You know what? The secret to germs is don't catch them in the first place. What happens is this. The cold, that thing that you're doing right now, the cold is a virus. And if we looked at it in a microscope and we zoomed into the cold virus, it looks like a gnarly, ugly thing, a bit like Mr. C waking up too early in the morning. I wake up 8 o'clock on school days, right? That's early, isn't it? So the cold virus has all these little particles that float around in the air. So when people cough and they don't cover their mouth, these girls are being very respectful. They right? Because those cold virus things fly around, and here's what happens. I'm not sure about mouth breathing, but I know when you breathe those particles in your nose, they lodge up here, right? Just a tinsy virus cell that's floating around now. So it grows and multiplies and we get a cold. So the secret is try not to breathe in people's breath. It always happens at primary school when, you know how kids sit next to each other in groups? When one child gets sick and they start coughing or whatever, then usually the next kid gets it and the kid over there gets it, unfortunately. So what Mr. C does, if I'm at home, if I see Rachel coughing, for example, I just put a thing like this, right? I just go like that. And no, it's not time I got cold, easy. It don't worry me. I got no problem. Because I'm not going to get sick. But that's not what, we're not here for health lessons, are we? We're actually here for writing, and we have a brand new segment. Jonathan, I want you to say it out nice and loud when you see the top writing coming up. You ready? Here we go. Say that. What does that say? Scribble superstar. Scribble superstar. That is what you are. I don't know any more words to that. I'll have to learn more words. All right, this is your work, isn't it? Is this yours? I think it is. The fire alarm blared. I put blared there. And all sounds, the authoritative voice of the teacher, the scratching of pencils, stopped as if they'd slipped through time's iron grasp. Shifting his stance, the teacher called for quiet, silencing the worried whispering of the students. Later he realised that it was not in fact a drill. He always knew the correct procedures, but having been through numerous drills, his sense of urgency was dulled, and it cost him dearly. You know what to do in case of emergency evacuation at school, if it's a real one. Let the teacher out first. No. Okay, yes. Let us run to the furthest reaches of the earth, and then you guys do whatever you need to do, all right? That's the rule in my classroom. Mr. C goes first. Why? Because I need to clear the doorway, right? If there's a snake in the classroom, I need to clear the doorway and then run, and up to you guys. So that's our emergency procedures in here. If there's an emergency, I go first, okay? If there's an ice cream truck outside, I go first. They are the same thing. All right, Mr. P was saying, Miss Lorena was saying, actually she doesn't like Miss Lorena. Lorena was saying, you call her that.
Sorry, mate.
Lorena was saying that there is some slight issues starting to emerge in the homework. So we're going to give you a heads up in a new segment called Let's Show Them How to Do the Homework. So this week, is it this one we're doing?
Yeah. What, are we up to people for the summer this week?
Yeah, we are. The A and he, she,
yes,
because we just did the sounds in the classroom. Well, that's what we looked at, Jonathan. Sienna, the violin player. Who plays violin? Ooh. Is it scratchy or nice?
If you play it nice, it's nice.
A what?
If you play it nice, it's nice.
If you play it nice, it's nice. Do you have your own violin?
Mm-hmm.
How many hours of practice a week would it take?
An hour or two.
1 hour or two a week? Okay, excellent. Oh, you do more? 7 hours a week? There isn't even 7 hours in a week.
Going to exams, you play 3 hours a day.
3 hours? There isn't 3 hours in a day. Not if you want to play Xbox, PlayStation, go outside. What? What?
I don't have.
Do you play violin?
No, but I don't have an Xbox, and if I did have one, then I would.
You don't need an Xbox. All you need is 2 hands. You can play games like this. Hello, Peter. Hello, Mary. Just play finger puppets. Make up plays with your fingers. All right. So watch what we've got. This is the job, right? You've got the A and he, she technique this week to do. Brandon, this is a sneak preview of what you have to do. A sensitive girl. There's the A and she, or the girl's name. So a sensitive girl and a keen stamp collector, Sienna's violin lessons began paying off. And then I have to do a second one to practice it. A fine singer and accomplished violinist, Sienna's future on stage seemed assured. So I've just made up 2 A and he, she techniques. They are on the cheat sheet we've given you. Okay, how to do that sentence, the A and he, she. We believe everyone has the cheat sheet. If you don't, you need to see Mr. P, maybe email us and we'll send it to you, okay? So, notice, and, she or Sienna, okay? It's quite a simple technique and it's quite powerful. All right, the next part of the homework, you take one of these, one of them, and then continue it as a paragraph using 3 of these. Okay, it's really simple. Let's go back. You pick one of these. I choose this one. And then 3 more sentences using these starts. Okay, so here's what I've got. I've got a fine singer and accomplished violinist. Sienna's future on stage seemed assured. She always knew the key to producing sweet melodic music lay in the love she applied to each piece. Remembering with fondness the words of her teacher, she smiled as they came back to her. The instrument is your soulmate. Oh, if only he was still alive.
Oh, that's nice.
So I'm setting up a story, all right? I'm always thinking about the reader. I put a lot of thought into these 3 sentences. It took me all week to write them a few minutes ago, okay? I'm thinking about the reader. So this line here, I deliberately put it in. If only he was still alive. So something happened with the violin teacher. And this story is going to follow from here. I didn't just make 3 random sentences, just like Jonathan's. He didn't make 3 random sentences. He wrote that basically the teacher had been through so many drills that he didn't really take this one seriously, and it cost him dearly. Yeah. See, that makes me as a reader go, oh, I wonder what happened. So this paragraph has been set up really nicely. Okay? Thank you, Scribble superstar. So that's what happens in this week's homework, that exact one. Okay? To give you a hand with what's happening. Let's move
Actually,
on.
Mr.
Yep.
Steve, before we move on, you know how we have Scribble Superstar?
Yeah.
We might need a section called Scribble Bludger, because there's a few bludgers as well.
Scribble
We won't-
bludger, that is what you are.
So if you're a bludger,
Yeah.
lift your game, kids, come on.
You don't want your name up on the Scribble bludger board, okay? Some of you might think it's prestigious, but it's not. Okay, here we are. We are doing a character paragraph with this as our stimulus, okay? It's not a big chest, so you're not fitting millions of dollars in there. Maybe gems, maybe medicines, maybe some sort of alien technology, maybe some sort of weapon, maybe some sort of love notes that were locked away. I don't know what's in there. Maybe there are spices locked in there, because 500 years ago, when the world wasn't colonized, okay, when countries didn't go to other countries, spices were very valuable. Yeah, those things in your cupboard that someone puts in your food, a little bit of oregano, a little bit of thyme, a little bit of cinnamon, some clove, they were extremely expensive. There was a time when spices were worth more than gold, in fact. Can you believe it? Not yet, buddy. Actually true, because the kings and queens' taste buds were exploding with these new flavors from spices, that they were willing to pay fortunes to have these spices. But eventually we brought the actual seeds of the plants to various countries, and now in Australia pretty much every spice is grown. Just like in every other country, spices are everywhere, and instead of costing, say, let's say $1,000 for a small packet of spice, you can go to the markets and get them for $1, because they are now everywhere. So we're going to try and create a character paragraph using our sentences. We need this sheet. Do you have that? It should be in your folder, the Intensio Magnifico. Let's grab it out. I will type, okay, and I'm going to think out loud to show you how we do this task. So I'm going to type, you can keep watching the board. All right.
Wow, that's a long time.
I'm going to place this chest on a train, under a seat, in a particular carriage on a train, so it's a modern setting. I'm going to pick a teenage boy, probably 14 years old, jeans, hoodie like this one. No, hoodie like that one. What is that? South what? South. He's got a Southeast Zone hoodie on. So just a grown-up version. All right, here we go. Sitting in the empty carriage. Bradley. Pulled on his hoodie. 3 things that he needs to do now. The first thing is the sitting, because it's a quadruple verb. Sitting is one. Pulled is the second one. It's an ED. Retied his left shoelace.
Took a deep breath.
And pressed play. As the Elvis music drowned out the world.
Why not the Beatles?
Does anyone, who's heard of Elvis? Here's the 1 for the money, 2 for the show, 3 to get ready now, go, get, go, don't you.
Can you change it?
Step on the blue. You can change it to Brandon's greatest hits if you wish.
No, change it to the Beatles.
Okay, just make it a bit smaller. Is that still all right, Daniel, you think?
Yeah.
That size? Okay.
Good.
So that's our quadruple verb, guys. For newies, there's 4 verbs in this sentence. ING at the start, sitting. then what did the character do? 3 ED things. Pulled on the hoodie, retied the shoelace, and pressed play. We don't want to do an extra one there. Okay, it makes it too heavy. And notice my last one has more information, and press play. Bit more information as the Elvis music drowned out the world. All right, now we need our triple descriptor. I'm saying he looked like an average teen. Well, why would you say that, Mr. C, if he's just average? Because he's not average. I'm saying he looked like an average teen. He looked like an average teen with his faded jeans. What shirt would he be wearing? Gucci. Average teen wouldn't wear Gucci. Billabong. I deliberately am throwing in a fancy colour name. Turquoise Billabong tee. I didn't put T-shirt because they are called a tee. I'm being a little bit more specific now. When authors write, they get specific like this. So it's a Billabong tee. I could have put Levi's, but I don't want 2 brand names in the same sentence. 1 brand name is enough. Billabong tee. He needs a cap and scribbling cap.
No,
Yes, that's what a teen wears, an average teen.
A bright
No,
pink
scribbling cap.
Bright pink.
Um,
Just to make him look like a girl.
Worn sideways in the fashion of the 2 Pudgy gurus, Mr. P and Mr. C. Should we do that?
That's pushing it.
No,
One pushing.
Mr. P's lost a lot of weight now.
Right.
And scribbling cap worn sideways. All right, that's my triple descriptor. I chose that he looks like an average teen. He's got three things: the jeans, the t-shirt, and the cap. Easy. The M- descriptor now is something happens. Maybe it's a memory, maybe he's thinking back. And actually, no, I won't do memories because that comes next. I might do the fact that he's hungry. So let's see. Actually, I'm going to show you something different. It doesn't have to always be deep inside the character. I might put something outside the train. Oops. I want to show you something else I did. Notice up here I said empty carriage. I did not say empty train because I knew, honestly knew, that later on I was going to use the word train, and I didn't want to do repetition, so I deliberately put carriage so I could use train later. Outside the train. Commuters, they are the names, that's what you call people who travel, okay, on buses, trains, etc. Outside the train, commuters, what's the word? So they're sort of...
Milled?
Yeah, milled. More than that, they're bustling. The commuters bustled because they're in a hurry. Commuters bustled. And all sounds. Here we go. something that the inside that are drowned out because something major's going on with Bradley. Outside the train, commuters bustled, and all sounds. The announcements, you know, the announcements on the train. Next stop will be blah blah blah. There's something announcements.
Blaring?
Or the announcements. I don't know what it is. I can't say
Distorted?
of the speakers. The announcements of the.
How about distorted, Mr. C? Because sometimes you can't hear them.
Yeah, true. You never can actually. The distorted announcements overhead. Another sound. He's in an empty carriage, so it can't be people. Maybe it's not an engine. Our electric trains, it's not the engine necessarily. It's the rolling of the wheels on the track. The distorted announcements overhead. The
Squealing of brakes.
squealing, that's what I want. The squealing of brakes ceased. I probably won't say Bradley again. Something about he seized the treasure chest as he glimpsed something entirely unusual under the seat in front. Oh, entirely unusual, yet familiar. Oh. Because I put that deliberately because now I've got 4 memories coming up. So this chest, even though it's unusual, it's familiar. Now remember I said he seemed like an average teenager, but he's not. And this chest, he knows it. What's it doing there? Whoever put it there, how did they know he would be in that carriage all by himself and he sees it? It's a familiar object. So that leads to something very, very interesting. Who is he? What does he know? Is he a Percy Jackson type character where he's descended from? Who was he descended from? Anyone? Who? Poseidon. The god of the sea. Interesting. So, I'm now going to throw you over to the leaders to do the 4 memories. I'll throw in the A and he, she. Not yet. We'll have a go at the 4 memories. So now it's time to create something interesting. Who is he? Does he have a power? What is inside that chest? Why is it there? Something significant that would basically run this short story plot line. Okay, this chest is important to our plot line. What's going on? So shall we take 5 minutes maybe to discuss what are the possibilities of these memories? What does he remember? For me, I think it's something like, in there is an enchanted piece of jewelry that with it, in the past, he was able to do 4 amazing things, conquer or defeat 4 incredible things. It's a bit of a fantasy story, this one. And he gave that life away. He doesn't want it. He wants to be average. So the fact that that chest is there and he knows inside it is the bracelets, whatever they are, these enchanted bracelets that give him superpower. What does that mean? If someone has then placed it there, what does that mean? A life he gave away. What do you think?
That forfeits exist or something.
Yeah. So he gave that life up. I don't want to do that anymore. And now he is on the train and that appears. Think. What does that mean? What does that mean? Yeah? Booyah. Say it louder. They want him to come back. Why would they want him to come back with these superpowers? Booyah! Well done, buddy. There is a massive problem coming. The city is in trouble. We need you. Awesome story. Okay, let's create what were the 4 memories with that items of power that he can remember. We're setting this up for the reader. All right, let's pause and we'll be back. All right, let's have a look at 4 memories. I heard some great ones and some great ideas. Kelly took her story in a different direction, not a superhero, but a survivor of the Titanic. So this story picks up a few weeks after the event, and somehow I imagine she's thinking this chest was from the boat. very interesting take on the story. Okay, simple here. A slideshow of memories repeated themselves. The days spent away from family. Not giving too many clues yet. But the race through Firestorm Valley. The battle with the two-headed Cyclops. And the moment he realised his father's true identity. Dun, dun, dun. I'm now going to change it and use one of Brandon's ideas.
No.
So his father's true identity was general anaesthetic.
No. General, no, it's a chemical.
Oh, isn't that what it was? That's what I thought you said, general anaesthetic. I thought, awesome name for a father. Nah, all right, okay, I've got it wrong. Okay. I want to put his father would be Zeus, but that's been done. People are going to say, you're not Rick Riordan, stop trying to be Percy Jackson. So who could the father be? Superman? Spider-Man? Batman?
No.
I need
How about a failed hero?
Oh,
The little known Mr. Glue or something silly.
okay.
No, that's getting silly. That's getting silly.
Oh, okay. Okay, let's just go with, now Dr. Freeze has been taken, so it's Dr. Freezer. Okay. Now, a C student, watch what I do here. A C student and protector of the world. I'm using contrast as a technique, like here's the mundane, the boring, the ordinary. He's a C student. Oh, in the very next phrase, he also happens to be the protector of the world. That's a deliberate technique I've used, okay? He, and then whatever you want to say. He desperately wanted to avoid the items in the chest, all right? Something like that. Or he knew the city was in trouble once again. Whatever, okay? Easy, let's move on.
Oh, we're done?
Yeah. That's it for the 4 memories. All right. Dressed in rags, Cinderella, I know it's spelled wrong, it's even red line.
Books, Mr.
Yep, in your books. Cinderella wasn't ready for the ball, so as to fit in, the enchanted mice designed an enchanted gown for her. Because it was late, they stitched quickly, but they had made one major error. So, changing out of her rags, Cinderella, dressed for the ball, something like that. Let's go. Let's spend, I think, 3 or 4 minutes. Go. Okay, my friends, your attention. Just want to go through the one possibility for our small word challenge. Changing out of a rag, Cinderella prepared for the ball, slipping into the enchanted gown designed by the enchanted mice. Stressed and pushed for time, they stitched quickly, but made one major error. You see, when we remove the small words, the quality just lifts. But I always say this to students. If taking out a word or changing it makes a sentence worse, in other words, you don't have the skill necessarily to improve the sentence, then don't. Your writing needs to make sense. Your writing needs to have a high standard. So we say we want to reduce the small words. Just here on Saturdays, we try and remove them all. But in your real writing, you want to reduce. Very interesting. I had a student this week, year 9, and I was telling him about the sentence starts, noun, verb, noun, verb, noun, verb, noun, verb, and why we practice the where, when, why verb starts, right? And I also told him about the small words, was, were, is, are, has, had, have, be, being, etc., that we practice. Now, this student was in grade 9 at school, and I asked him to write a sentence thinking about those things. And do you know what? He instantly put a noun verb start. He wanted to do magnificent, a sentence for magnificent. So he thought about the view being magnificent. And I said, okay, you could try it with a where start. So he wrote, the view from the mountaintop, right, just went noun verb. And not only that, he put 4 small words in the sentence. And I underlined them. And he goes, my gosh, you just told me not to do that, but I put them in. He was stunned at how those words just appear in writing out of habit. So our goal here at Scribble Inc. with this is hopefully you are catching these words. Hopefully you're catching them. I don't know. Hands up. Anyone starting to notice at school that you do use them a lot and you are trying to change them or you are changing them? Good. Because I'm telling you, regular students, they can't even tell that they're using them. They have no idea until I point them out and go, look what you did. He goes, yeah, wow. He couldn't believe it. Very interesting. Mr. P, anything for homework?
Look, kids, the big thing with homework is we're noticing you're repeating keywords, so we don't want to see nouns repeated, so be working on that. Some of you are getting sloppy with techniques. Now, if you've forgotten any of the techniques, go back over your notes, okay? If you haven't got a skill sheet, there's one there on the table. Make sure you grab it as you leave, okay? The other thing I was going to say was, the big thing that Mr. C pointed out today was that when you do the technique example at the top, that we want you to ensure that the next 3 sentence starters are connected to one of those examples. Make a great paragraph. And on the previous page with the new words, most of you are finding outstanding words. You really are. I'm so pleased that you're finding words that you don't often use, but you're obviously picking up in your readings. Because the last thing we want is you just to go into a dictionary and just open it up to any old page and just write any old word. We don't want that. We want words that you can actually use.
Yep.
They're new and useful.
Excellent. That's great, guys. You are awesome. Have a fantastic weekend. Stay safe, be happy, happy scribbling.